I'm back again. I have a mic this time, so that's fun. But being confused about how to choose one unit from the four similar looking options on Sydney Student, that is not fun. So you've got your brother here to help you out. If you're new here, I'm Dia. I was in the same exact position a year ago. I made a video about how to choose your major and minor. This video is a continuation of that. We'll be focusing today on more on units, OLEs, daily units, and how to finalize everything. And also electives. Now that you've decided your major and roughly planned out your degree in general, let's zoom in on how to choose the units. You'll notice that they all have a code associated with them, which is a 4-digit number and a 4-digit letter, like the letter followed by 4-digit number. Now the letter is the major it for the unit falls into. So if you're doing like physiology, so it's going to be PHSI. If you're doing medical science, it's going to be meds, and then you're going to have the 4-digit number. These can be a little complicated at the first glance. Out of the 4 digits, from left to right, the first number 1000, 2000, 3000, they are at the most basic level an indication of the year that you should take the unit in, so like first year, second year, and so on. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you strictly do them year by year. If you've completed the prerequisites for each second year unit in your first year and you have space in your first year, you can take the second year unit in the first year. It's up to you. So you can just think of these numbers more as difficulty in progression and not as the strict time frame. When you're looking at the units, there's also these alphabets. You said loves alphabets, which are like A, P, C, N on the unit of study table. So what are these? Because these confuse a lot of people, including me. A stands for assumed knowledge. Now, this is what the coordinator of the unit assumes that you already know. For first year, these may be things like basic maths, physics, etc. And for later years, it might be knowledge from another unit. These are not compulsory, but it definitely helps if you have them. Next is P for prerequisite. Now, these are compulsory and you cannot take a unit unless you've passed its prerequisites. Or you can get special permission, but that's a story for a different time. For example, 2000 level units might require you to pass a specific 1000 level unit first. Most first year, first semester units are not really gonna have a lot of prerequisites, but they do become prerequisites for later units. So study well. Then there's C. C stands for co-requisites. This means that you're recommended or required to take 2 units at the same time because the course might be supplementary. And then there's M, which is prohibition. This is like the exact opposite of C, where you can't take 2 units together in the same semester because they have very similar course content. So taking them together means you're not really learning what you should be learning, if it makes sense. The uni doesn't allow you to take it together because they don't want you to waste your money. If you ignore prohibitions, the new student will stop you, but it's still good to check out. Next, we've got advanced units. For some units, USED offers an advanced version of it. Now you're looking at the 3rd digit. Basically, like if the course has a single 9, so like 1902, 2904, something like that, then it is an advanced unit. It is designed for students who've either done previously well and / or are genuinely interested in the subject. Now, advanced units usually will have either lectures which will go more in depth, an exam which is much more trickier, maybe a lab course which is much more rigorous. It depends on the unit and how the way it's structured. Like there's no particular rule that an advanced unit should be like this. It's going to be different for every unit, and way you understand what the difference is through the unit outline. I would recommend that you go open the unit outline of the normal unit and the advanced unit, and then you compare the assessments and the weekly structure to understand what the advanced unit is doing differently. And then if you're interested, you can take it. I also recommend searching the unit on r/USED on Reddit to see what past students thought about the unit. But I would also say that you should always take everything on Reddit with a grain of salt. A lot of comments are quite old. People can have different experiences, and some of the units are so new that there are not really a lot of reviews on them. And apart from the advanced units, some subjects also offer SSP units, which stand for Special Studies Program. So these are usually smaller cohorts which are much more research focused. Both advanced and SSP units are listed directly in the units of study table, so you don't need to search like anywhere else for them. And also SSP units will have like 2 9s in them, so 2993, 3998, something like that. A personal note, if you're doing Bachelor of Science and if you're doing, like, if you need to do the Bio 1007 unit, which is molecules from molecules to ecosystems, I highly recommend taking the SSP version of it. There are not a lot of prerequisites for it. It's just if you're interested, you can take it. And the course coordinator is really nice. The lab program and the assessments are all very interesting. So if you're genuinely like interested in science and how research happens, and like also the coronavirus, like that's what we had. I don't know if it's going to be the same for next year. But yeah, if you're interested in all of that stuff, I highly recommend taking that unit. Also highly recommend Meds 1002 if you're in the medical science stream, because the lecturers in that unit are really nice and anatomy is very interesting. So I would recommend, if like, I mean, well, it is kind of compulsory, but it's a good unit if you're doing it. Trust me. Another thing I want to add is that don't be intimidated by advanced or SSP units. If you're genuinely interested in a topic, just do it. They're going to be fun. And if like in the first few weeks you find that it's a little hard, you can always change. So yeah, always try if you're interested. Like, don't take SSP or advanced for a subject that you're not really interested in. But if you're interested, then I highly recommend considering them. Now we move on to electives. So electives are units that you take outside of your major and minor. These are selected from the table S, from which you can also select a major and minor that we discussed in the last video. S stands for shared. This list will contain all the majors and minors that the uni, like almost all of them, that the uni is offering. And from there, you can choose a major you find interesting, like a random major. It doesn't have to be your major or minor. Choose it and then choose any unit from it. And you can do this from like anywhere in the table S. So that's how you select electives basically. So they're a great way if you have any niche interest to explore them. And the number of electives that you can take will depend on if you're doing a double major or a major and a minor. Next up, we've got OLEs. OLEs stand for Open Learning Environment, which is a very misleading name. Like, you're not going in the environment out in the open. But that's used for you. OLEs are basically just a way for you to broaden your knowledge into either subjects of your field or other subjects. You can get a better idea if you go to table O and go to the unit outline of the OLE that you're interested in. Most of them are going to be 2 credit points each, but there are also some which are 6 credit points each. And for your degree requirement, you need to do 6. So either do 2 into 3 or 6 into 1. Up to you. You can do more OLEs as well, and that can be taken as electives. And then we've got the Daliel stream. The Daliel stream is offered to students who have shown a strong academic performance in their high school. It is also offered after your first, second, or whatever, like every time you finish a year, and also unfortunately taken away based on your WAM. It includes enrichment opportunities, different table of units in the table D, and also a lot of other stuff. But yeah, I am in the Daliel stream, but I'm not really, like, they also offer scholarship exchange programs and stuff. So it is like a good opportunity. I've not really done any of the Daliel streams in my first year, but I will be doing my first one called Great Books and Radical Texts, which I'm really excited for because I do like literature quite a lot. Important thing is that Daliel is a part of uni, but it's not really compulsory. If you've been offered, then you can also like say that you don't want to do it. And even if you've not been offered, it's okay. It's just, if you really want to get it in, just like get an amazing WAM and they'll offer it to you. So yeah. Finalizing on Sydney students. So once you've filled out your Excel sheet, especially focusing on semester 1, like just know what you want to do for semester 1, the 4 units, and OLEs if you're doing any, and also like a rough idea of semester 2. You can change semester 2 later as well. You can head back to Sydney Student to finalize enrollment. Thankfully, adding units is mostly intuitive since everything is grouped by major, so like it is not the worst thing in the world to figure out how to add units on Sydney Student. But one confusing thing is that unfortunately they like to have multiple versions of the same unit with like a slight difference, which if you don't notice can ruin your experience a little bit. But it's okay, it can be fixed, don't worry. So here's a quick breakdown. Unit code, name, year, exactly what it says, like it's the same thing. Then session is S1C is semester 1, S2C is semester 2. Anything more cryptic than that is block mode, which is condensed versions of a semester which happen in like winter and summer break. I'm not an expert on it, so I'm not gonna speak a lot on it. Then there's mode of attendance, which is MOA. This is ND stands for normal day and BM is again block mode. Location is, so CC is Camperdown campus. Please double check CC, like please double check that in LOC you're adding CC, because I had a friend who accidentally enrolled in a Westmead unit because she selected WC and had to travel very far for the classes and lectures and everything. So yeah, unless you actually want to go to Westmead, make sure all your units are CC. Last thing is that to be considered a full-time student, you need 24 credit points per semester. So that is, you need to do a minimum of 4 units per semester of 6 credit points each, and then for a year it's 48. And especially if you're an international student, 48 credit points is the requirement for your visa. So make sure you do that, and you can do more than that, but that is like the minimum if you're doing full-time. And finally, if you're feeling lost, confused, or anxious, I want you to know that you're not alone. This is a universal experience because in school we're given everything like at to us, and in uni it's all of a sudden we're supposed to figure everything out, which is a part of adulting, but it can be quite daunting, especially at the start. And you're not alone in this. I was there in the same situation just a year ago. Heck, even when I had to change my degree, I was like still so confused just a few weeks ago. But it's okay, you're gonna figure this out. And if there's any other doubt that you have, comment down below or reach out to me. I'll have my mail linked on this video, and you can let me know if there's any way I can help you out with. You can also reach out to Sydney Student Center, they're really helpful. Yeah, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna have a very good time here. You're gonna be in a new city, or maybe if you're international, like if you're from Sydney, in the same city, but you're gonna meet a lot of new people, have amazing lecturers, and have a lot of fun. So, welcome to you, sir. You're gonna have a great time here. Bye.